Hello, and welcome to another edition of Mindstream Analytics Oracle Essbase How-To. Mindstream Analytics is a boutique consulting firm specializing in the implementation and optimization of best-of-breed business analysis and financial system solutions. We focus on solving complex data analytic issues to enable fact-based decision-making for our clients. This video, along with others provided by Mindstream Analytics, should help provide some insight as you begin or continue your enterprise performance management or business intelligence initiative. Look for other videos provided by Mindstream Analytics to learn best practices and take part in lessons we've designed to help you. Head over to our website at www.mindstreamanalytics.com after this video to learn how Mindstream Analytics can help your company by delivering premier consulting service solutions, by enhancing technology and aligning resources through systematic processes that harness insight and enable financial and operational fact-based decision-making. Today, Mindstream Analytics Oracle Essbase How-To will cover setting up a replicated partition. Target audience today is the intermediate to advanced Essbase user. Additional general information designed to help the more novice user will be available in future editions of Mindstream Analytics Oracle Essbase How-To. You may ask yourself, why create a replicated partition? Well, there may be any number of reasons why to create a replicated partition, but one reason would be to map a more detailed application to a summary level application at a level that is more conducive to financial planning. And this is the solution we'll be simulating today. First, I'd like to cover a few general partitioning tips. The number of cells in the source and the target definition should be the same. When the source and target dimension members match, just include them in the area definition, and there's no need for additional mapping. When the source and target dimension members do not match, the mapping editor should be used to map the individual members. UDAs, user-defined attributes, other filters, and relationship functions can be used in the area definitions when the cell counts do not naturally match between applications. Finally, when a dimension is omitted in an area definition, Essbase assumes there is a one-to-one relationship between the applications. Well, this brings us to the demo, and off we go. The Essbase Administrative Console, which is the primary administrative interface for Essbase. I have already set up a partition that we'll be working with today. And if you expand the server and application nodes, you'll see a list of the applications available to be worked with. Today, we'll be working with the ActFeed database. Drilling into the target database, you will find nodes for the outline, and finally partitions. If you drill into the partition node, you will see nodes for the source and target databases. If you right-click on the partition node, you have a selection to create a new partition. In our demonstration today, we will be using a pre-existing partition which I set up earlier. This is the source application. We will be expanding the target node because it contains the information about the target application. Here, we will right-click the partition under the target database node and select Edit Partition. You will find tabs here for the type of partition, the connection information, area definitions, the mapping, and finally the validation tab. The first step is to select a partition type. For our purposes, I have selected a replicated partition. We will be covering the other types of partitions in future editions of Mindstream Analytics Oracle Essbase How-To. On the second tab, Connection tab, we enter information the data source Essbase server, the application, database names, username and password information to be used in making the connection. The same information must be entered for the database target. When entering a username and password, you should make sure that this information is for an administrative user with a password that does not expire. That is unless you don't mind updating all of your partitions every 3 months as your passwords expire. On the next tab is the Areas tab. This is where you define the areas of the database you want mapped. You can have different areas defined if needed, as in this instance. Here we have defined an area for the balance sheet and one for the income statement. Because the balance sheet in the source database has a greater level of detail, we placed UDAs, user-defined attributes, on the parent members at the level we want the data to be pushed. Second area for the income statement is at the same level for accounts in both applications, so we have no need for the use of a UDA in the accounts dimension. However, you will find that we do use a UDA on the projects dimension in the target database. The target has less detail as far as projects go than the source. Therefore, we place a UDA at the level in which we're interested in pushing the information to the target. To populate the area definitions, you can either use a member selection tool similar to the one in Essbase add-in by selecting that radio button and then double-clicking in the cell. Again, you'll notice a member selection dialog appear that is very similar to the one used in the Excel add-in. You also have the ability to use a text editor. By selecting that dialog, you can double-click a cell, expand it, and enter data directly here. Click OK, and off you go. You also have the ability of using an inline text editor, which allows you to enter information directly into the tab. Myself, I prefer using the text editor as opposed to the inline editor or using the member selection tool. If you have a mapping that is particular to an individual area definition, you highlight that area and select Advanced. Here you'll notice that I am selecting January through December YTDs and mapping them directly to the period members in the source or in the target database. This is particular only to this section of the area map. It does not include the area below it. You'll notice that when I select that area and select Advanced, there is no mapping for this area. If you have mapping that pertains to all areas defined in the area definition, those global mappings would be placed on the Mappings tab. As stated earlier, the number of cells in the area definition must match. To ensure this, you would check the Show Cell Count in the upper left-hand corner of the Areas tab. You can see in this case that both the target and the source databases for both area definitions have the same cell count. Once you have all this set up and you validate and save the partition, you are ready to move the data from the target. Next, we will select Save. It will validate the partition, and if everything is correct, it will produce an information dialog stating that the partition was successfully updated. When you're ready to move the data from the source database to the target, you would right-click the partition and select Replicate Data to the Target. Thank you, and this concludes another edition of Mindstream Analytics Oracle Essbase How-To. Thank you for attending the latest edition of Mindstream Analytics Oracle Essbase How-To. If you have any questions, please send them to info@mindstreamanalytics.com or visit us at www.mindstreamanalytics.com. Thanks again and have a great day.